I know I'm like older. I'm in my 40s, and I'm like, let's go on a movie date.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey
God.
guys, I really want to go see this movie with you.
Yeah, it's just weird when we always end up going to like a romance movie. I guess that makes it weird.
What was
We went to a rom-com.
Yeah. Hey, Harry Met Sally's coming back out for one
Sense
weekend.
and Sensibility.
It's Jane Austen weekend down at the Cineplex, guys.
Can you imagine? Pride and Prejudice again. I love that movie. Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And it's just almost the end of February. End of January.
Yes, we are traveling through time and space.
Yeah,
No, it is insane, though. It does kind of feel like time traveling. We are suddenly here at the end of January. It feels like we just started 2025 and it's going to be over.
I was just talking to, I think it was someone on my team or something, and they were like, damn, that's crazy. Like, last week was my last full week of work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I feel like I just
announced it.
Hey, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Everyone, don't make a big scene. I'm leaving. It's cool. Crickets. It's like, fuck. Makes you feel loved.
Yeah, I understand that. But, you are loved by your team. They're just quiet people.
It's that and just, on to bigger and better things like I said last time.
Yeah. Changing in life is a good thing. Evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution. Don't let fear hold you back.
For reals, though. That's like I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually kind of getting anxious in the fact that I'm kind of excited. But I know that morning while I'm getting ready, that butterflies. Oh my God, I'm gonna be like first day of school.
Yep.
Like, oh my God,
what
am I gonna sit for lunch?
Different times because your tummy just feels a little upset. Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna have to find new friends to sit with at lunch and stuff.
You got to pick out the biggest guy and beat him up so that everybody knows you're not gonna be messed with.
I just yell at the biggest guy.
Maybe that's jail.
All I know is it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Because So I was Bucket had texted me yesterday. Me and Alicia and my mother-in-law, we went shopping. We were gonna go to Walmart. Ended up going shopping. Not always my favorite thing, but whatever. Sure. It was what it was. It was fun. But Bucket texted me, just hey, how's it going? So I told him, hey, I'm gonna be starting this new job, and he's like, oh, that's crazy. Then he asked me, because I told him, yeah, man, we're gonna have to come down and see you guys again pretty soon. He's like, how does your PTO work? I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of questions I didn't ask that I probably should have asked.
I do not know.
I know something about 80 hours. I don't know if that's just for the year. Like you only get two weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I didn't ask a lot of questions. Like I needed to ask, am I going to be in office or a cubicle? I don't know.
You're going to be in a car.
Am I going to be sharing an office too?
Yeah.
That's what I started thinking. I was like, fuck. Which I don't care.
Yeah.
But, if you want to just not do something, sometimes having someone in there when you're trying to be lazy is not always the nicest.
Shuffling papers and, oh, yes.
Right. I'm trying to be on my phone, motherfucker.
Here we are.
Leave me alone.
Where did I put that?
But yeah, no, they're already got like fucking, I think they said there's 6, but there might be, I think 7 or 8 that are internal candidates that applied for my position.
Wow.
I know. I told
Nick.
You
beat them out.
I told Nick, I was like, holy fuck. It was like they were waiting for me to leave. Like they couldn't wait.
Oh, I see. At your current job.
Yeah. At my current job, the position that I have currently.
Like everybody on your team's like, I want Jesse's job.
No, 2 people on my team.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 people on Nick's team.
But you kind of knew those 2 people, right?
Yeah. And I knew they would.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 project people. Mm-hmm. And then there's 2, I said Nick's, 2 project people. And then there were some other people that, and one of the names that I saw, I still don't think would be a good fit just because he's never done any of this stuff that we do. Or he has in the past, but like he's very not a people person.
Oh.
But Nick, myself, and I had talked to one of my techs, told him like this person's applying. We already know that favoritisms exist. If you guys
That's who
don't
it's gonna
realize,
be.
favoritism's a real thing in the workplace. If you have a boss or someone high up and they are friends with someone that's not quite as high up, and that someone who's not quite as high up applies for some position like
They
that,
might get that job.
they'll most likely get that job. Because he'll be like, well, no, because he's such a good talker that he'll convince people that, no, this would be, he's going to do great. Well, in reality, I don't think he will, but
Who knows?
I could already
Not
see.
your problem.
Not my problem. I feel bad for my team because,
Yeah.
but granted, I heard if certain people get hired or don't
Certain
get hired,
people will not be there anymore.
yeah, there's a chance I'm
A
gonna.
mass exiting.
There's a chance.
Well, there you go.
Slowly throughout the year, there will probably be a chance that people are going to be.
There are actions and there are reactions in the world.
Kind of makes me feel good though when people leave because you left.
Yeah.
Kind of feels good.
Yeah.
I
That is a metric.
I
to
always go,
watch.
hey, if I won the lotto and there was like a fucking ass ton of money, like the fucking
Yeah,
700
billions.
million, right?
Yeah.
I told my team I would give each of you X amount because at the time when I was like really like I fucking hate this motherfucker, you know, I was like, if I gave you this much to leave,
You leave.
would you leave? Yeah, for sure.
Of course. Yeah. $1 million? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out.
I'd leave.
Right?
I got a couple years to figure my stuff out. Yeah.
You
I'd
think
go.
like $1 million, you could figure it out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think about $1 million, right?
Yeah.
That's a good amount of money.
Dude, I don't think I've made $1 million in
That's
my life.
10 years of $100,000 income.
Yeah,
Right?
oh, that's true.
So you think about that. If you throw in like, okay, you go to college and get some degree, or you just, I don't know, do some other stuff. Oh, that's $100,000, which is not a ton in today's world, but at the same time, like it's your average living.
I'm not
not
gonna
even
lie.
the average living, but kind of what you need as the average living. So,
Dude, I'm paying off a house for
yeah,
sure.
right?
Dude, and then your bills just kind of like slowly drop after that.
Yeah, I'm investing a lot so that
Yeah.
my money makes me money.
All I know is I'm going to join some kind of drug something. Or
Drugs. I'm going to become a cartel.
something. Dude, so earlier this week, Nick will invite me and our other friend out to a movie, right? And so he's like, hey, have you guys seen Den of Thieves 2? It's like with Gerard Butler and Ice Cube's son. And I was like, nah, is it good? You know, he was saying it was like really good. So it's, if you haven't seen it, it's a very heisty style of movie, right? And so I was like, I think I seen the first one. Well, come to find out, I watched the first one last night.
Oh,
Don't think I've seen the first one. I think I did. I just don't remember it.
Blanc and I did not remember the first one at all. Like it ever.
Did you watch the
coming
second
out.
one?
We did not. We just saw the commercial for it or the preview trailer, whatever.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other like, "Do you remember a first one coming out?"
It's on. If you haven't seen the first one, I do recommend it. It's on HBO Max right now.
Okay.
It's very good. If you like heist movies, people like breaking into stuff, having these schemes to try to rob things, like the cool way to rob.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah, like that kind. That's
Yeah.
It's like that,
Yeah.
with a lot more action, I think.
Yeah.
But so we go out, and then we went to go have pizza and stuff. But I told Lisa, I was like, oh, I guess Nick wants that. She goes, oh, I like how you go on dates and don't take me. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, girl,
I'd
please.
date you all the time.
Dude, I take you. I'm pretty good at being a husband.
Yeah.
I take you out on dates. I fucking do stuff. Quit it.
All the time.
Quit it. Get out of here. Yeah. But no, the movie was cool. But it's always weird though when you're like,
Just with the boys.
yeah. Let's go to the movie, guys.
Reach for the popcorn together.
Same hand. It was funny though because I was thinking it is kind of weird, right? We're going to the movies, but there was a group of guys sitting right behind us. It was like four or six guys, and they were all just watching the dude movie together too.
That's crazy.
And it was just those guys and then us, and that was it in the theater.
It's funny because there's like an age, probably pre-marriage, it's very normal to do that kind of thing with your guy friends.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean,
But I never
obviously,
did
like,
that.
Your girlfriend. Oh yeah. I mean, like I did, like middle school. I know. Like, there's sometimes you go to the movies with your friends or whatever. High school, I went with my girlfriend usually.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe it's just like once you're committed in some level to a girl, and then it just switches over where it just feels very,
Yeah.
you know.
I know I'm like older. I'm in my 40s and I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go on a movie date. Oh my
Hey
God.
guys, I really want to go see this movie with you.
Yeah, it's just weird when we always end up going to like a romance movie. I guess that makes it weird.
What was
We went to a rom-com.
Yeah. Hey, Harry Met Sally's coming back out for one
Sense
weekend.
and Sensibility.
Jane Austen weekend down at the Cineplex, guys.
Can you imagine? Pride and Prejudice again. I love that movie. No, what's that other porny movie? Fucking 365 or whatever. It's
Oh
called.
yeah. You guys
LA.
want to go watch 365 with me?
It's 365 and a half. Oh my God, baby
Blanc
girl.
and I went and saw a movie. It was a like a gay romance movie, and
Bros. I love you.
Is that what it is?
Something with the.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I try to be very open minded. I respect everyone's life and their choice in their life. There are moments it was a little hard to watch. Like, there were definitely moments in the theater. Blanc and I were both like, "Goo, gay." Like,
When he's getting a blowjob, crazy.
yeah, I respect that might have been a real scene. There were definitely some scenes where it was like, this is more than I needed.
So-
I don't need to see really sex in anything anymore. Honestly, it's like been so overdone.
Yeah, but why is it though?
Yeah.
It's more awkward when you see guys like two
like-
girls going down and kissing and whatever.
Yeah,
It's not as weird as if you see two guys.
it's
right?
our prejudice.
Well, not even.
But-
I'm not even saying it from my point of view. I'm like even like
Yeah.
like Alicia or we'll say Blanca. Even from a woman's point of view, to see two guys doing
Yeah.
that, why is that more?
I just
awkward?
think I really do think it's our culture. It's what we were raised, and we were sort of conditioned for. There is like an idea that, which I'm not really into this, but like two girls, that's hot. Two guys, it's gross. So I think we're just conditioned for that reaction. I mean, hey, do your thing. I just know,
See,
you know, like, I don't know, it was a little much at times.
Yeah, there is a point where it's like nothing against like sex scenes or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you're out there and you're like just trying to enjoy a movie, and all of a sudden there's like fucking just crazy sex. And
Yeah.
you're like, you're in a theater full of people. You're like, okay, this is weird.
There was a time and a place for it. Like, for example, the show The Sopranos. It was at a time where, like, it was a show about a crime family.
Yeah.
And you wanted it to be realistic. Well, can you imagine The Sopranos if it was restrained in some way? You know what I'm saying? Would it feel as authentic if they're like, I'm going to smack the face off of you instead of I'm going to slap the fuck out of you, that kind of thing, right?
It's all censored.
Because it's so funny because A&E picked up The Sopranos and they would play it, but they would dub over things and they'd cut things out. You know, it just is not the same. If they're at a titty bar and the girls are, you know, half clothed, not very believable.
Like, what titty bar is
So,
this?
like, I get that there are times or like circumstances where that lends itself to a deeper sense of reality in a story. But it does feel like, and I've heard reporting that a lot of younger people are in this place of like, sex scenes just make it awkward. I think that's kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
it just does.
You're watching something and all of a sudden people are doing it and your kids are there, or you're a kid and your parents are there. It's just an unnecessary thing sometimes.
Well, that's what I was just saying. Like, there's a way to do like a sex scene where you don't kind of like a
Lead up
scary
to
movie,
it, and then at the
well,
end
like
of it,
those
right?
scary movies where you don't see the monster, but you just know what it's there, and in your mind you know what happens. Same with the sex scene, you know they did that.
And for the actors, it's probably
And they're
better
like laying
because-
down.
Well, right now,
Where's my cigarette?
We got that issue between Blake Lively and the guy that she's accusing of something.
Well, no, from what I've read, he's. Like, I mean, they even fired him because.
Well, there
of
you
it.
go. So whatever the case is, well, he's suing them now, but it's this big mess.
He's suing Ryan Reynolds.
But that's my point is, you know, you avoid all of that if you just don't do those scenes. Like, what was the artistic value in some of?
Yeah,
maybe there was. I haven't watched the movie, and
they're not. We watched the movie because Alicia read the book.
Okay.
there wasn't like crazy looking sex scenes in the movie. It was kind of suggestive.
Okay.
He was more of an abuser in the movie. And the way they show it's I don't know. It was just really cool. I guess he was just like a piece of shit to work with.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of an asshole.
Well,
from what I've heard,
used to be the cool way to be a director, and now it's probably just not the right thing to do anymore.
Hey, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that she's not lying, but I what do I know? I don't know anything.
Yeah, from what
I don't want to get sued
from the
by
stuff
some
I've
guy.
seen, like it's definitely he's kind of been the issue.
Sure, but that's kind of my point anyway.
Yeah.
Is unless it's artistically necessary, like again, you're creating a world where you need it to be kind of unlimited, or else it
Like I don't need to see his dick. Like, is that artistic? No, it's a dick.
No, it's never artistic to see. Nothing on a man is artistic.
Yeah,
Put it all
unless
away.
you're like ripped and you just got the biggest slang on earth.
That's for the wives. But
my whole point of this story was heist movies are
heist.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I loved about GTA 5 was it was like a heist game.
So the movie, like as you watch it and you see them do the things, and they always have the cool technology and everything's just like the way it happens is just always so cool. It just I've even with like Ocean's 11, any heist movie, I'm always like, if I was ever like to become like a criminal, like a career criminal, it would be something like that.
You'd have to. You wouldn't make enough money in anything else.
Like that, and it's just it's like the mops to me.
Sure.
Very classy. Something classy about it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is,
You'll work in the system for a few months trying to figure out the plan, and it's like, there's like intricate, and there's like all this stuff to it.
The mob used to do that. They made still,
And I'm like, you know what? I would do it. I would do that in a heartbeat.
In,
It would be at least once.
The movie, did you ever see Goodfellas?
Oh yeah,
I love that movie when they do the Lufthansa heist.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
see,
that's
heist
cool.
heist would be so fun. I don't know, something about it just.
You're in,
This one-
you're out.
This one, they're like getting diamonds.
Yeah.
They're like the diamond district of wherever they're at. And it's like, oh, cool. It's sick.
Yeah.
And then they show a Jewish guy in the movie. And I was like, of course, there's a Jewish
It's
guy
let's see the
with diamonds.
Guy with all the diamonds.
He's like one of the guys like looking at it like, oh, let's rock here. Like.
This one's Meshuggah. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. Really
But it's pretty dope. It was a cool movie. I think
Yeah.
that movie was it's a very fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of action. I don't know. I recommend it. I thought it was a really good movie. If there's not a lot of movies out there to watch, obviously I think that's a good one to watch. You could always.
You just made me think of something. I was like, I don't know. Usually we talk about movies a little bit, and
that movie was cool though.
I'm gonna look up the. I think I got the.
But
name
there
right.
there is a show that Black Sails, which I've talked about before. It's about pirates and all that. There is a scene though where one of the guys is butt ass naked, and you see everything. Like usually in the girls, you always see their titties and shit, right? Their ass. This one, no, you see his dick. His dick.
And what was the artistic value of that scene?
I think there was a reason why
Nah,
he
I'm
was
just
naked like that, before for whatever punishment he was gonna get.
Yeah.
It was.
I have seen.
There was a reason.
I just
Obviously, they
watched,
probably didn't have their shoulders.
I watched
Dick.
Schindler's List not that long ago, and there are scenes where they everyone's naked for, obvious, atrocious reasons.
Dude, I haven't seen that movie.
And they
so
just
long.
show everybody's everything. And but again, in that case, you're thinking about people actually did this to other people.
Yeah,
and the reason that they were stripping them naked, it's pretty.
If you haven't
pretty
seen that
awful.
movie, don't watch it.
It's
No, it's a good
no,
movie.
I think now more than ever, we have tons of people that deny that the Holocaust ever happened. Come on, people. That's not true.
And the Earth's flat, right?
It obviously happened.
And we live in a dome,
And we
right?
we have a handful of people left that experienced it. So I do think now more than ever the art around it probably needs to be brought back. So Schindler's List was good, and then Blanca and I last week watched that new movie that's getting a lot of buzz. All of a sudden, we hadn't heard of it, and then now we hear about it everywhere. Real Pain. Did you hear about that movie?
Never.
Macaulay Culkin's brother. What's his name?
Kyle.
Golly.
No, I know what you're talking.
I know the kid's name, but the guy, he's probably my age. The guy's name, But then there's the guy that played Mark Zuckerberg.
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yes. So he wrote it. He wrote this story.
Oh.
And stars in it and directs it. Like he does everything.
Is it in theaters or is it like a Netflix type streaming?
I haven't seen it in theaters, which is shocking because it's a really good movie and it's getting a ton of buzz now, you know, in the award season, whatever. I hate award shows,
What
by
is
the
it
way.
called?
But it's called A Real Pain, and it's about these cousins whose grandmother dies, and she was I don't know if she was in a concentration camp or if she fled Poland before the Nazi takeover. But they go back after she dies to Poland as kind of like an homage to their ancestral home. And one of them is very like loosey-goosey and the other one's very like high-strung. And you just kind of follow their path going back, and they go to a concentration camp, and like
and one concentrates harder than the other.
Yeah, one can concentrate more. It's a very like his Blanca tends to avoid that kind of stuff. I tend to go all in on like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a history kind of person, a history kind of person, and I feel my most emotion in those types of things. Like grounded in
because
like
you're into that
historic pain or like massive events that were atrocious, that kind of thing. I can feel very emotionally vulnerable for those things. Whereas daily life,
you're like, nah.
tend to be sort of disconnected from it. But with Blanca was like, because she's avoided a lot of it, so she knows about it, but she doesn't know details. And she was like, so wait a minute, what's going on here? Like what? And I was like saying, well, this is what they did. They really did this. And this is like where they are, is looking at this place where this stuff happened. And
where'd you guys watch that at?
at home. It was
streaming
on I'm trying to remember what it was streaming on. I mean, if you search it on the TV, it'll pop up where it plays. I don't remember which
I'm about to check that out.
channel it was, but it was really good. It had its like a fair amount of humor, so it wasn't like you were just devastated the whole time. And then it really, the devastating pieces weren't overdone, so it wasn't like you didn't walk away from it tired or exhausted or anything like that. Whereas Schindler's List, you probably were more like, oh my god,
is this ever gonna end?
At the end, you're like, oh no. But it was a really good movie. I'd highly recommend it.
I'll have to check it out. What was it called again?
A Real Pain.
A Real Pain. I'll have to write that.
Pain. And
A Real
the
Pain in the
title
ass.
is just perfect for like as far as like a meaning or to just sort of quantify things it was great for that movie. So A Real Pain, I recommend it. You should watch that. Apparently
Something like my boss. Real pain.
a real pain. He's a real pain in the ass, and you can say that now. You can say
I was saying it beforehand.
Yeah, shout out to your boss. You're a pain in the ass. I hope you know it.
The thing I keep saying to at work, because I went down there because I had to like
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. I had to not return equipment. I just brought a bunch of equipment back when I was in Oregon last time. Mm-hmm. So I finally was like, let me drop all this crap off. So I was down there. I had lunch with like Rosie, and we were just talking and stuff. But I forgot what I said. But I keep saying this has like been my saying. I was like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna fire me?
Yeah.
Huh?
You can't fire me. I already quit.
yeah. Just give me a couple more days.
It's in the records. Yeah, but I need to get paid.
But yeah, no. And then I saw like I had this retirement, but it was like a profit sharing through my work or something. And I was like, so I had to like email someone like, hey, like what happens with this? Is this, because I know it's through you guys, like, is this something do I keep it? Do I have to cash this out, or like, like what?
Like, it's gone.
Well, no, that's where I was like, because it's, it's a decent amount. I mean, it's not a lot. It's like 20,000 or something.
But it matters.
And then, so I was like, shit, if I have to cash this out, I'm cool with that. Like I can I'll pay off my fucking car or something, whatever. But it's just it's something I can roll over. So I was like, oh, I'll just roll it over to like.
It's a good idea. You need something for retirement, but
I mean, you know, if I was to retire now, I'm
future also.
I'm getting $5 a month for the rest of my life.
I need that check. Yeah, I know.
It's something like that. It was like $5, something stupid.
I never know how to read the stuff because I know like there's like all these different pots, and I always look at it because I know I'm putting money away and I'm putting extra money away. So I know I'm going to be okay, but I always like
I'm not.
Get to the point where I'm like I don't even know what the number is. And then you look at things and it's like, you're projected to make this much a month. I'm like, that's not true. Like, I don't make that now and I'm working. There's no way that's going to happen.
Like it's more or less.
So like, because it's way more.
Oh.
So I'm like, you can adjust these like metrics. And I'm not doing it right. Clearly. You're going to make $20 million
I quit.
a month. I'm like, this is awesome.
I would retire now.
Yeah.
No, yeah, me and Nick,
crazy.
it was funny actually. Me and Nick went to that pizza joint. It's called like something Hellfire Pizza.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which was The Rock or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's good. By the way, the wings, fucking bomb. There was this really Chipotle like dry rub wing that I got. So good.
Huh.
But no, we were talking about retirement. He's like me where it's like, there was a point in our life where we didn't invest in retirement because it's like we couldn't afford it.
Yeah, right.
You know, like... Right. I had a family. I had things to pay off. Like
it's very difficult.
There's no way I could have invested. Let me just throw away $400 here and there to do this. I mean, I barely now was able to get my family on my own insurance plan.
Right.
Which now I'm leaving. And, you know, now I got to redo all that shit. Which should be just. I think it'll still be the same, if not a little better. But yeah, I was just thinking like, fuck, man, I'm gonna be working till I'm like 90 and shit. If I even live that long.
If we get Social Security, you only have to work till you're 67. So don't worry.
If I even work that long, shit. So I got a little over 23 years left, something like that. So, you know, it is what that's crazy.
I know. It'll go fast, but.
That's crazy. You work your ass off your whole life, and then it's like, all right, well, we're going to give you like $1.50.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's where it used to be pensions. Like the company would give you money. And now most companies don't do that. It's all the 401k. So if the market does good, you're great. If it's like...
My dad had to like end up... I think he was around when the market kind of crashed a little. And so he had to stay working for a few more years afterwards.
Wouldn't that piss you off?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God. Like, that's the thing is like, I get that there's...
Thanks, Obama. No,
yeah.
I just like to say that.
It was actually George W. Bush, but...
I'll just blame everybody.
No, I mean, markets do. They go up and they go down. And usually the 401k system is going to do just fine. But I mean, what do you do for people that are at retirement age when it bombs? There is a level of like, I expect the government to look out for me as the average citizen.
They won't, though.
Well, you're right. You are absolutely right, but we can demand it better than we do. We get so sidetracked in the bullshit that we don't hold them accountable for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And if we actually got our act together as the American people and got serious with ourselves, we could elect people that would. Yeah. And we could kick them out when they didn't do what we needed them to do. But the problem is getting a populace educated enough and cohesive enough to do that. It's not going to happen.
No.
So we're stuck with the same bullshit over and over again.
And we'll complain until fucking all the time, and then nothing will happen because we don't do nothing about it.
Well, right. I mean, but I would appreciate it if we did have systems in place that protected the average person, if we had policy that made sure that the average citizen didn't have to stress about if the ground falls. Like, fuck rich people, frankly. I'm gonna just say it.
Unless I become rich, then you know what?
Become rich, then
fuck poor people.
That's their job, though, as super rich people, is to say fuck us, and it's our job to say, well, fuck you. There's a lot more of us than you.
Us middle class folk are like, what about us?
Yeah, well, and we should. We are the majority of the country. We are the driver of the economy.
We're the screwed. We get screwed the most.
Yeah. How many pillows are rich people gonna buy?
None.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we buy toilet paper, we buy house products, we buy furniture.
Rich
we
people
are the
use
driver
poor
of the
people.
economy. The very wealthy only have so many houses. They're going to buy luxury items, but as far as the everyday economic system, they're not going to buy any more than we do.
Is there a
You know what
luxury
I'm saying?
item that you would buy?
Good question.
You know what I mean?
A
Is there something
luxury
like you'd be
item?
like, you know what, I would buy this just because I was stupid rich?
I would want to like one time drive a really nice car, or maybe
Right.
go out on a yacht. Would I want to own one?
I'll rent one.
Probably not, just because it's like, I don't know. It feels unnecessary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would, I don't know. Who
I'd
knows?
buy an island. I feel like that's
That'd
a
be
rich
cool.
people move, right?
I would, yeah.
That's luxury.
Owning your own island. If I was like,
I'd buy
Bezos
Vietnam,
rich.
maybe.
I'd buy Vietnam. It's for sale. Every country is really for sale if you think about it. So I would buy Vietnam,
At least this little
and
picture.
I'm gonna
they show.
buy Korea. It's very pretty.
North Korea.
North and South. I'm just
gonna combine them, yeah.
They're gonna be Korea again.
It's gonna be West Korea.
We're gonna make Korea great again. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be great.
Can you imagine? That'd be great.
The Mukaga, it's the Mukaga movement.
Make Korea great again.
Make Korea great again. It's gonna be fantastic.
Maybe buy a little land in Canada.
We're gonna go to Canada, and it's going to be Korea.
No, I think if I was stupid rich, I don't know. It'd probably be a car.
Like, what kind of car? What would be your go-to car?
See, it
Like
wouldn't even be that kind of a fancy. There's a Cadillac CTS
Ooh, those
V
are
or
nice.
something.
Yeah.
It's about a $90,000 to $100,000 car.
Yeah.
I'd
Is
probably
it
get that.
an older model?
No,
Or
it's
is
like a
it-
newer,
it's
sporty
new?
looking one. It looks cool. If I got an older car, it'd be a Chevelle for sure.
Yeah.
Like one I didn't have to worry about trying to fix myself. It
Right.
would just be done.
Just done.
Just back
And then you'd have the money for all the maintenance of everything.
yeah.
Like,
For sure.
yeah, that's the thing is like,
I'd probably buy someone. I'd just buy a person.
I just buy, you would invest in slavery?
Probably. Might as well.
Seems like that's a good investment. Pretty solid. I mean, yeah.
They clean my house and shit.
Oh,
Oh, wait,
man.
that's just a maid service. See, I don't know if I could do a maid service either. To have a maid come clean my house once in a while.
would. That I would do because I
It just
hate.
feels weird.
So I was telling you before we started.
Like, girl, you were not cleaning that right.
we had a maid at our old house. I don't know if you
Rich.
can call them maid. At
just
that point,
did.
if we had
You
stayed in our
just
old
did.
house, we would have had plenty of money. We're fine, but I can't afford. I won't spend the money on a house cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a girl that came over every week. and
Guadalupe.
it was, so she was white, actually.
Oh,
She had an Italian last name.
Russian.
But her Svetlana Gabaduchek was her name.
She was married.
No,
into
she
Italian
really
mob.
she did a great job.
Mm.
It was fantastic. It was awkward if you came home
And she was
I had a
naked.
day. Yeah, I had a day where I got home early and Blanca was not home, and she was there, and I'm like, it was kind of like you were saying about at work, like when. Like, what do you do when there's somebody in your house? I'm like, I'm not going to sit down and play a video game. That looks lame. So I'm like, getting workout. Like, I'm not a loser. Like,
Dude,
this is so awkward. You're like, this person's there watching you.
Could you do a topless maid
No,
if you were single?
no. I would feel very.
That'd be so
gross.
That's that. Yeah, that's what they.
You know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I would just feel very not right.
I
as
would be a
person.
topless maid
Yeah, sure. You're gonna pay me.
or a bottomless maid. No, yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't know. I couldn't.
It's just really like.
But even without the topless part, just the whole like maid, like you just said, you come home and then they're just like there, and you're like,
I don't feel bad about having a maid because
well, I mean, obviously they know what they're doing. They're getting paid.
and it was so nice to come home after working and being tired, and the house is just spotless clean, and you didn't have to do it. Because like right now, between the kids' sports, working a lot, and just this is kind of like the busy time of the year for me. I don't know if it's the same for everybody or just
Yeah,
me.
I think parents who have kids in sports
But
is usually
the winter time, Elliot does basketball, so it's like all basketball. So a lot of the time, where maybe another time of the year I would have a little more open time, it's either all I'm doing is working, cleaning the gym, or sports. I'm not going to want to clean as much.
Yeah,
so it's
I get
hard
it.
to keep up on that. So yeah, I would, if I were super rich, I would definitely do that. I'd probably get like a gardener just to have a gardener.
Jose, man, he'll kill it.
And he would too, man. And I would buy him all the equipment he needed. I'd be like,
He wouldn't. You wouldn't need to. He would already have all that shit.
You're gonna be.
He'd have his own a company probably.
Right.
I will say I would definitely wouldn't mind getting me like a landscaper to come out every so often to like do my backyard and stuff. Oh,
yeah, all
God,
the tree trimming, all like the big
The
stuff
weeds.
that you don't want to. Yeah, the weeding. Ugh.
Dude,
I'll plant stuff.
Yeah, right.
But I want to just like, because I love projects. I love like planning stuff. And then I hate buying the stuff to do it because then all your money goes away.
Yeah.
But if I just had tons of money, I would just, my landscaper would also be like a grounds architect. And I'd just be like, all right, this is my vision. This is what I want. Oops. And he'd be like, yeah, oh, we could do that. And
That's
then there'd just be projects.
The lady that was
time.
part of our financial, like when we were getting our house, that was part of the loan officer, whatever. Her name was Valerie. She did that. She was like a landscape
architect.
Kind of, yeah. She would like before she moved back to Washington, where I think she lived in like Virginia. I don't know. She lived somewhere else, but she did that as like a company. She would actually go plan out and do that stuff. But I think I would sleep better if I didn't have to do all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do. I do. You saw me look at the
Yeah, I did.
So nice job. We're gonna roll into something here. This is something really cool. We've talked about before. Yeah, I was starting to have some difficulty sleeping.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to dream about all the rich, fancy stuff I would do with all my money if I made money from like a lottery or
the podcast.
Being smart or a really cool podcast that everybody listens to. So we were fortunate enough, Magic Mind reached back out to us and asked if we'd be interested in partnering up again. And we enjoyed their products last time that we partnered together. We, at the time, for those of you that have been longtime listeners, know that we did their regular energy shots, which are natural product energy, not just like your sugar and caffeine, right? So the big thing with them is they use ingredients that don't cause a crash, and I can attest to that. There's no crash after. It's just sort of natural, good for your body stuff that's used. So we just got in this week their sleep formula. I've used it a few times. Jesse, I just got you your
and I'm looking forward to it because my sleep has been all over the place. And I think last night was the first time I've in about a week and a half that I've slept I slept decently.
You just crashed or like
I think it was just more my body like, okay, go to sleep.
Yeah.
But to have that natural, like slow process, like, when you drink like a sleepy tea in a sense where it kind of relaxes you. I feel like that with Magic Mind, it's like it's more of a relaxation, and then it just kind of lulls you to sleep.
Well, I've had leading up to this time, I've definitely had those nights where I felt like I wasn't dreaming, and you just aren't getting into a deep enough sleep.
Yeah.
That you feel like
you don't REM.
Your eyes close and then they open. You're like, oh, great. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
I did notice that over the few days of taking it, I can remember my dreams more. I feel like I was in a deeper sleep. I mean, I can't prove it, but it felt like
we'll hook them up.
And again, the thing that I liked most about their original drink was the flavor actually was good. It wasn't gross.
Yeah, for sure.
You assume that healthy things are disgusting. At least I do. And
do you like peas? Because I don't. Those are disgusting.
Peas are gross. Green beans,
I like them.
Disgusting.
I won't lie.
Absolutely disgusting. Carrots, ew.
Carrots cooked are gross. Carrots raw,
yeah,
so
raw
good.
Carrots, okay. Cooked carrots,
puke. Nasty. Magic Mind, nice and chill, so good. I'm telling you, it's like a little smoothie to me.
So, and we showed you
like a
the
juice
artwork
drink
last time. Look at this. Look at the color scheme. Even the color scheme is calming.
I've always liked.
I know it's a little bit blurry. I apologize for that, but just look at the colors. Yeah, come on, screen. Their regular packaging, not that matters, but it's just the details of a company. We've shit on really, really rich people, right?
Yeah.
How many companies do you know that reach out, like this little card here that came with the Magic Mind packet, and you can't see that either, but luckily you can see our faces. Well, I will tell you, This is a note from the CEO, the founder and CEO, the guy that originally invented Magic Mind.
Yeah.
And he talks about how they got feedback from their customer base on the taste. His team liked the lemon chamomile the most. So that's kind of what they started with. A lot of people apparently did not like it as much.
I was going to say, I love lemon.
Well, I would think so too. And it's funny because they obviously taste tested a lot of things and landed on that. And their team all agreed, like, yeah, this is our best flavor. But then when they started selling it, they must have gotten feedback. So instead of just being like, F you, we know what we're doing, you don't. Because, sometimes people have egos.
Oh, for sure.
No, he made this card and he's like, hey, thanks to your feedback. We made it even better. We went back, and even though we love this flavor, we taste tested several different things. And we have this is our new flavor for this shot. It's a berry flavor, and they can't wait for everyone to try it and let them know. So a company that actually engages feedback the way it should be engaged, that doesn't take offense to it, but owns it, and is like, all right, hey, we can make this better.
No, I think that shows a lot of character when you can like take that moment and just be like, you know what, we appreciate all that feedback. This, you know what, we're gonna adjust it.
Yeah.
And now let us know what you think. And I can say they get that negative feedback again for whatever reason. I can see them just being like, oh yeah, okay, we got you.
Yeah.
Because
this is the thing, and like we just talked about, in a world where a lot of us average Joes feel unseen or unheard, or like nobody cares, to have a company that actually says, you're our partner in this, and we validate, not only do we want the product to work the way we say it's going to work, but we actually are inviting you to have a voice in this. That's pretty cool. And we're kind of used to not having that dialogue with companies. Even though companies know it's important to have that, there are a lot of companies big enough now they don't have to care about you.
Yeah, for sure.
They have, Magic Mind seems to be, from everything I'm seeing, a company that will actually hear what you have to say, and if there are enough people saying it, they're going to make changes and adjust. Is really cool, I think. That's a side note, because that has nothing to do with their actual product. But a corporate climate, I guess, I think is really neat.
I think it's cool. But yeah, I guess for their sleep formula, it's non-habit forming. So there's no melatonin, no grogginess. And it supports to relax.
Does it say anything on that card? Because I was kind of looking over that card. Kratom. That's what it was called. I was trying to think of the thing that they advertise they do not put in their products.
No, this one has ashwagandha, passion flower, theanum. I cannot say it. Lavender. You got the lemon balm, the valerian, chamomile. I don't know what 5-HTP is, but it promotes falling asleep. And then for quality, you got kava, GABA, and then magnesium glycinite, which is a vitamin. You can, like, me and my wife actually take that it's like an over the counter. Okay. Your standard vitamin that's helped it's supposed to give you better sleep quality.
Okay.
And just taking the vitamin, I think it did work. So to have that all in one, like to actually just have something you can drink, and you can just 30 minutes before you go to bed take a little shot,
right?
And then you just
tastes good,
and then you just kind of like,
and they do recommend this one chilled. They do say it's best in the fridge,
and I agree, because like I said, like that last time I remember I tried some not chilled, and personally for me the flavor was good. It's just, I don't know, something about nice. Yeah. I love a nice cold drink myself.
I do too.
So it's good.
Yeah, and so that kratom, I'm not saying that that's in this product. In fact, it is the opposite of that. Kratom is being sold right now in many places, and it's even being included in some things as like a marketing point. The problem with kratom is there's a lot of evidence that it is habit forming, and in high doses it has a heroin-like effect.
Oh God!
So there's actually some really negative.
I don't need to go to fucking.
But when you start to see things being included as like ingredients because it sells well, that's when you start to feel like a company doesn't have your best interests at heart. So the fact that they actually, I remember last year when we were working with them, that was one of the things I saw in the advertising was like, we do not use kratom. They were straight up with what it is and why they don't use it. And I thought that was really cool, because I want to have trust in the product that I'm consuming. and they're very open about what's in their product. I think it works. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of, it's like you're taking your sleepy tea, you're taking your vitamins, you're taking all these things
All
for
in
your
one.
sleep, and then you're taking it all in one in something that actually kind of tastes good
Yeah.
too. So why not try Magic Mind? And if you order during the month of January, you can go to www.magicmind.com / just blended Jan
Yeah.
will give you 45% off your order. So why not save 45% and try some Magic Mind now? I know that we were able to find them. They have a TikTok store. If TikTok is still
It's a thing.
it's allowed,
It's back.
up. It's back. I heard
It was gone for 13 hours.
it was gone
or
for a
something.
minute, but it's back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
back. And so we were able to order through their TikTok store. They do have, or did have, I'm assuming still have.
They still have
a
it.
TikTok store.
TikTok
So I'm
don't
assuming you
stop.
could use that code there as well. But get yourself some Magic Mind. They have lots of products. I believe they said they have gummies now too.
Hey,
Like chewables.
That'd be cool.
So if you want a real tasty gummy bear, I'm assuming. I haven't actually seen that product.
I got to
but
stay away from those because, like,
You'll just eat them all.
yeah, oh yeah, for
You'll
sure.
be the healthiest
I would be
person.
the sleepiest person on earth,
Well, the sleepy ones. Yeah, sleepy time.
or I'd be the most energetic.
We call you Sleepy Jesse. He's always sleeping.
Sleepy bear.
He's got his gummy bears and he's asleep.
I love gummy
But-
stuff. So that's
Gummies are delicious. And I'm assuming that these are probably pretty tasty. But we have tried, or I have tried the sleep formula, and I can attest that it's got a nice flavor to it. The energy drinks have a good flavor to it. We recommend chilled. They're definitely
I have
better than
mine in the fridge.
Yeah.
I just got to remember before I go to bed, 30 minutes.
I'll call
to
you.
drink it.
I'll call you.
But I got it. That's also my issue is when do I go to bed?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's midnight.
Well, last night I took that and then I was like, I want some coffee. I don't recommend that. Coffee does not help you go to sleep. But
dude, it
the nights
does
that I
not.
haven't had coffee after, which I rarely drink coffee at night. I don't know. I
You
just
know what's
felt
crazy?
like not. I just wanted to be honest with you, I just wanted to taste the drink. And so I did it and then I'm like, I don't want to go to bed yet.
So last night though, I was like, I don't know, I was in like a real snacky mood.
Yeah.
And so I ate a shitload. We went to so after we went shopping, we're hungry. It's like 3, or it's about 4 actually. So we went to the taco truck we really like. And I got a burrito. And this burrito was the size of a baby's arm. It was huge, right? It was a fucking big ass burrito.
Yeah.
I ate that whole thing.
Dang.
And then afterwards, I'm like, you know what? My fat ass or my big back ass. I want
What?
big back. You ever hear that term? That's that term the kids use.
I did now. Okay.
I love that
My
term, by
fat
the way.
ass or my big back. I'm like,
It's a big back. So
at first, I wasn't quite sure what words you
So-
said. I was like, wait, what?
So like a big back, you're like,
Yeah.
You're just
I
big-
get that.
yeah.
You're big in the back.
so like,
All right.
so one of our nephews is like, big back, big back. He'll say it's funny. I love the term myself. And so I'm always like, oh, I just had a big back attack. But no, I ended up eating a pint of ice cream too.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, nothing says working out great like let me just eat all this food
Oh,
so it
come on.
ruins
you
everything.
You can afford it. You work out like every day. I work out 3 to 4 times a week, and great.
We do about 5 now. I think we've kind of slowed down to just 5, and we'll take a day off here and there.
That's good. You got to let your body recover.
But it was. Oh my god, I ate so much. But I don't even know where I was going with that story. I just know I
That's
ate a lot,
okay.
and it was delicious.
You had good food.
And I
Big
was
back.
just
You're a big
killing
back
me.
last night.
yeah. It didn't help with my sleep. I tell you that.
Yeah.
It's like, but I wanted. Oh, that's where I was going. Now I know where I was going. There was a point where I was like, it was kind of cold in the house or something, but I was like, dude, I want something warm. So you know what? I want some coffee. I was almost gonna do coffee, and then I was like, no, because then I won't be able to fall asleep. And then I was like, fuck, no, I'm so full. What am I doing?
Yeah.
So I was like,
I know.
I
Isn't
wanna-
it weird when you get in that mental space where you're just like force feeding yourself?
Oh, I do it. Yeah, I'll get into that mode where I'm just
I
like,
hate it. And it's always at night for me because
Oh, yeah,
I'm in
for
the
sure.
habit of that. And it's funny how your behavioral pattern, like you'll see, I start off like I sit down to watch something, and then that leads to the next thing, and then the next thing, and it's like you do the same things. If you pay attention to it, it's the same stuff
yeah,
Yeah. That's why they
Habits.
say if you're like a drug addict, you can't go back to where you were a drug addict because you're going to see your friends and you're going to drug it up.
Well, no, I can see that because you're like you
Yeah.
fall into these habits, these patterns,
these routines that trigger the next thing.
Well, and especially like if you were, say you were in this location or you did this. This is when you would get in those habits. Like your mind just flips. Like, oh shit, no, you know what? I want some drugs now.
Right.
I want, I want this or I want that.
Dabble in some heroin. That's what I want to do.
You know what? I want some. What is those things called? The heroin thing that
Fentanyl?
No, what you were just talking about.
Oh, kratom.
Kratom. Yeah, I want some heroin kratom.
You know what? I want a kratom bomb.
That's crazy. Like, why are you in this rehab program? Oh, I just had too much kratom.
Kratom, man.
I was itching. I was like shooting it up in the bathroom.
No, it's wild. And it's, I don't know if it's controlled now, but it wasn't controlled. And so people can
that's like ephedrine.
So kids, go get yourself some kratom.
Well, that's like ephedrine.
No,
like when I was
do not buy it.
In the early 2000s, ephedrine was like legal, and that was like. I mean, it's what's in a lot of like.
It's a chemical
meth.
Used in methamphetamine. Yeah, for sure.
They actually had to start like if you were to get meth, like from not meth.
if you were going to go to your local pharmacist for some meth,
if you're going to get like Sudafed, like. The stronger dose of Sudafed, you have to go through the pharmacy and you actually have to have...
You go into a database.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
So back when I was doing dabbling in the whole methamphetamine, thing, there was this guy that I knew that would make it. And so he's like, hey, Jesse, can you go to like Walgreens or somewhere and ask for Sudafed or whatever? I'm like, sure. So he could make me some, right? So he was making some, so I did, and that's how I knew. And then I was like, after I did, I was like,
by the way, this is a very long time ago. Oh, this was
a long time ago. And then I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that again. Yeah. I was like so nervous already. I was like, what am I doing, dude? I don't want to be involved in this.
No, I remember in Breaking Bad, they had to steal methylamine out of a. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
The first season and a half.
They couldn't get.
I watched half the first season.
They couldn't get Excedrin or whatever it is, whatever
like
Sudafed. They couldn't get
Sudafedrin.
What they needed, but the raw chemical methylamine would be tanked for different things around the country on trains. So they had to stop a train, and then they had to suck out methylamine and replace it with water or some liquid that had the same mass.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like this chemist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
he's a chemistry teacher, yeah.
So like there's a period of time where they get the train stopped and then they're like, a mile back. This is like a massive train.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do it because apparently there's some like weight mechanism because of the importance of this chemical that you couldn't just take it out or else the weight would show wrong and then they know something happened. So they're like trying within like a 5-minute window to get this methylamine out so that they can go and they get these like barrels of methylamine.
That's
and
crazy.
Then they go and they convert it to whatever they need for. It was a crazy show.
I always did think though, like a chemist, like a chemistry teacher or something would probably make a good drug. Like
I know a neighbor of mine that he never made drugs, at least not for anything that wasn't like clinical or something, but he's a chemist, not a PhD chemist. He's a master's chemist, but he is smart enough to be a PhD chemist. I guarantee you this guy, methamphetamine is like a child's toy to him. He has patents. He works out at PNNL.
Oh,
very, very smart guy. He has patents for chemicals.
That's crazy.
That he's created. I mean, it's insane.
Can you imagine creating a chemical?
No, I don't even remember the chemicals.
This is better than water.
No, he is super smart. He went to all over the world. He would travel places for like, I don't even know what. Like he'd been to Russia. I heard a story that a Russian guy stole his wallet and he chased the guy down and like, you are a badass. You're smart. You're funny. I think I love you. No,
that's crazy.
No, it's pretty wild. Like he's been all over the world for different chemical things.
He's a spy for sure.
Pretty wild.
Would you be an assassin? I think an assassin would be sick.
I've done it in video games.
Yeah, I think going back to like heisty stuff, I think an assassin would be
killing
sick.
somebody.
No, it'd be a bad person.
I mean, just like
not just some random,
like movie assassin. Sure.
Yeah, some professional cool assassin.
Pew, pew. You got to have a silencer.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to have a gun in a case.
What's that? Hitman, the game Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that was set in St. Petersburg. That was fun. You had to go down into the sewer.
Yeah, I played a Hitman game a few years ago. I didn't like the way, I like the game itself, but I didn't like the way you had to download these different parts of the game.
Yeah, I've stopped playing some games.
It was just weird. It was just too. It was
I got
too hard. That game wasn't hard. It was just too hard.
I like
annoying
story-driven gameplay.
Yeah,
one thing I loved about GTA 5 that I hope they continue with is you could choose if you wanted it to be like a really difficult experience, or because I tend to prefer to not get pissed at the game, so I'll set it to I don't know if they called it cinematic mode. But it was where you got to do the missions, you could die and all that, but it wasn't so difficult that it got in the way of the story. I like the story. I like feeling like I'm engaged in almost a movie. So that's how I prefer to play.
There's a few games that I've played where it's do you want to play for the story or do you want to play I'm like, I'm not. I started playing it normal and I'm like, this is just fucking get on my nerves. It
stops the story from playing out.
Oh, you get rage.
And when you have narrative-driven stuff, GTA is funny, but there is a definite narrative there. And if you got so frustrated, you died 50 times on a mission and quit for a month, I could see it not being very fun.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can just remember the storyline and stay in the storyline, that in itself is enjoyment. For me, that's how I am. But I always sucked at video games, so... Blanca has way better timing than I do. Even in Mario still. I can't make it very far.
You guys played Mario recently? Or?
When we had the Wii. Actually, no. I think we got him for the... it was a year or two ago. We have the old Mario for the Switch.
Oh, yeah. The Switch. Which is in my closet. I don't use it that much.
Elliot has it. He still uses more the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Yeah, because I remember the kids would play Smash Bros. A little bit.
Yeah.
I would play
those are Blanca's
Mario Kart.
Blanca loves that kind of stuff, the old games.
Yeah. Alicia doesn't really play games. If she did, it would be like Mario Kart
Blanca
or Mario. It'd be the same. I do.
I cannot wait for GTA 6, and I get so annoyed because there's all these videos, and I always know they're fake. And they're new gameplay or whatever. And then it's today I saw one and God, come on, guys. Right away, you're this is London. I don't know what this game is. But it's not
GTA 6 is supposed to be Miami or something like that.
Yeah, it's Miami. And there is a storyline I pray that they include in this. There is I remember watching a documentary a few years back about in the 80s. There was a CIA connection to drug lords and this kind of stuff. And these drug kingpins in South Miami bought a submarine from Soviet Russia after it collapsed. And they were going to use that submarine to smuggle drugs into the country.
Why did I hear? I've heard about that.
I'll bet you have.
Yeah.
It's in this documentary about something. I forget which documentary it was, but it was so interesting because they had so much money. Russia fell. And so they really didn't have a government. So whoever had these submarines were basically criminals. And so they reached out and were how much would you want for one of these Soviet subs? And it was X amount of millions or whatever of dollars or rubles. And I don't think it ended up being used, but I'm what a kick-ass storyline would that be?
That'd be crazy though, huh?
Right?
Smuggle drugs in a sub?
In a sub. They do it. But not in a big Soviet sub. And those are the weird ones that had the weird window on them where you're is this
a submarine would be scary to be in.
I could not do it. I couldn't do it.
Oop, you're too low. Sorry,
you're
imploded.
Oh no. Kink. Oh. Yeah, nope. Surrounded by water, too much for me. I'd be the guy freaking out trying to open the hatch.
You're gonna take water in.
Yeah. No. I saw the Titan. I know what happens to submarines.
Right?
That's still, man, that story. I think it's just so poetic. I can't believe it's not.
I feel bad for the kid who didn't want to really be in there.
I feel horrible for
the
that
dad's
kid.
No, come on, son, you little pussy.
Anybody else on that sub, but that
come on, puss.
Yeah.
son's like, no, I seriously do not want to go in here with your video game controlled sub.
Like cheap, like knockoff video game controlled.
Right? Like the Mad
the controller.
Cats.
Yeah, it was a controller from like 2013,
God, that's terrible.
and it's just insane.
I'm glad it was instant for
It was
them.
called the Titan, for one thing. The Titan, like that spot in the ocean, has the worst luck for anything Titanic related.
True.
If you have the name Titanic,
You're fucked.
if you have hubris at all, you're gonna die in that spot on Earth.
God, that had to be scary the last, like, just those moments.
When you realize, like,
You just hear it start cracking, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, we're
we
fucked.
can't get the motor to work. Oh, the lights are out. Oh,
And we're dead. Because, they were like,
where did you get all the parts? We went to Harbor Freight. I mean, come on.
serious. Dude, I bought a Sawzall from Harbor Freight that lasted me a week and a half. And that fucking thing broke.
There you go.
So I can only imagine using something from there to make a submarine.
Yeah. What did you make the coating out of? We got a really big pipe. What was the pipe? We don't know. It was big enough.
It was just aluminum.
I mean, it's insane.
That's great.
And they used the fiber, carbon fiber body that had never been tested for that depth. So they didn't realize that over time it degrades. It's like, whatever. But at the same time, like, rich guys did this. Rich guys bought tickets. They went down. They died.
But hey,
Leave it.
come in full circle. When you're rich, you got money just to make
Sue them
stupid
if
shit.
Luckily, it didn't land on the Titanic. That would have been. Can you imagine if they imploded and like fell onto the Titanic and destroyed it? Of course, they would do that. Luckily, they didn't. It was somewhere else. But all the money that was wasted to recover the stupid thing, to investigate.
You already knew what happened.
No, I know. That's the thing. It's like everybody knows what happened. You went down in something that you weren't supposed to. It's like if I go down there connected to a weight, you're going to spend money to pull the weight back up to go, how did he die? I will tell you how I died.
I think I had told Alicia when that all happened, like, I'm pretty sure they fucking crushed to death.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course they did.
I'm pretty sure
And
they...
apparently the Navy ships heard it. They knew already that they were dead. But I'm like, how
what
much
was that noise?
Yeah. Brink. That sounded just like fire inside of an enclosed space. Like,
Did someone crush a
isn't that
can?
nuts? Oh,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy, guys. Just don't go down in
Don't go in
submarines
subs.
that weren't tested. You know,
Just don't go in a sub at all.
I have no desire to go down in a
I
submarine.
won't even go to a subway.
I have, yeah. From now on, anything with the word sub, I'm staying away from.
Yeah.
Submarines, no, thank you. Rocket ships, no, thank you. Even airplanes, I'm borderline.
Airplanes, yeah, but I don't know. I want to go to space, but then I don't want to go on a cheap rocket ship. I want to go to like NASA quality something. I don't want to go into like even what is it? The
SpaceX. Yeah.
That's pushing it.
Elon's a little. Did you see the Nazi salute?
That's crazy.
That guy, I don't know that I would want to be. He'd be like, it exploded, and that's terrible. And he wouldn't care.
There's this other thing I'm seeing, and this is how out of touch with like news and politics and everything. People are like, I support her, and she looks like she's a priest chick, but I don't know. I don't know who she is.
I know what
I'm
you're
so
talking about.
confused. I don't want.
She's like an Episcopal preacher.
I don't know what's
pastor,
wrong with
whatever they
her
call
or what happened to her. I'm guessing she's like.
she prayed for Trump that he would be kind to immigrants, and like as he's rolling out policy that he'll be
Yeah.
humane and this and that, and he got really mad and lashed out and said she had to apologize, and she said no. So people are hardlining on either side.
Oh, see, don't pay attention.
That's all that is. I don't know. I'm trying not to because it's just pointless.
That's why I'm like, you know what?
It's easy to get sucked in. I have a lot of opinions. I care a lot, but whatever.
They just need to watch the movie A Day Without a Mexican, see what happens.
Is that a real movie?
That is.
Really?
Like all the Mexicans are, I don't know if they disappear or something happens, but like the economy
the
collapses.
world stops because no one is doing work.
At least in the United States, I think,
Sure.
like LA or somewhere like
No,
that.
for real. Like we live in a farm area. There's no way that our area is going to do well economically with the farmers if there's no immigration work.
No, because I don't give a fuck what all these people who are anti-immigration, most of these motherfuckers ain't gonna go out and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go work the fields." You're not gonna work the fields.
No, you're
I'm
not.
sorry, I'm not gonna go work the fields.
And if you're so right, even if we did work the fields, they couldn't pay us fair wages because the agriculture industry started with slavery, right?
Yeah,
and then went to indentured servants, and then went to immigrants. They have never paid fair wages for the work.
No.
Now, either there's not the profit margin there to begin with, so you have to have either a federal government subsidy to make it work, or you've got to have a cheap labor source.
Or both.
Some would argue that, you should probably just have a federal subsidy so that you're hiring people legally to do the work. But obviously the system requires immigrants.
Well, and a lot of these, they're just coming over at, okay, it's the harvest season, so we're coming from Mexico. We're going to do this and then go back and help our families out.
Right.
So it's not like they're doing anything bad. So to mess with that, I don't know. I think that's a crazy idea. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
There's two ways it's going to go. That's the thing. Either that's not going to get messed with because farmers are typically Republican. And so maybe Trump's going to stop there and be like, yeah, we're not going to touch that.
Yeah.
But he is playing on the racist thing too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racist people that want to see everybody that doesn't look like them gone.
Which is stupid.
And so in that case, if that narrative wins, then he's going after everybody. But yeah, that's when you're going to see some major economic issues because our economy has worked its way. This is a factor in the real world economy. Cheap labor that's underreported, that's not followed, that's not really aggregated is a factor in our economy. And I'm sure some economists can tell you the value of that labor. Yeah, I know a lot of farmers that, probably truly need cheap labor because, again, I mean, I'm sure it's very expensive to operate farms.
Oh, I'm sure.
And most of our farms are owned by mega corporations. There aren't many average farmers anymore.
No, was it Monsanto or whatever?
Monsanto, yeah, Monsanto. But we're going to change their name. They're going to be Monsanto from now on.
Yeah, they are.
Monsanto.
Bastards. But that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it is nuts. I don't know. But I agree with her in the sense of like, I really do.
Why should you always have to apologize? Who gives a fuck?
Well, and that's the thing is like, whatever the policy is, obviously people voted for some sort of immigration crackdown. We need an immigration policy. I do pray that our country and our culture doesn't lose humanity in whatever policy we enact.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy to be like, everyone's got to go. And it's like,
we already saw last time the crackdown, children were separated from their parents.
Yeah,
like little tiny kids. That is going to potentially cause, look at Afghanistan. If you cause a certain amount of pain and you let that go unchecked for decades and that hatred grows, I don't want a bordering country that hates our guts and wants to kill us because, I don't know, again, actions and reactions.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that there's, you look at Nazi Germany and the Holocaust, like we act like it's hyperbole to say that couldn't happen again. It's happened. It's happened numerous times in history. It's a very normal thing.
Yeah.
The abnormal thing is a democratic society that works without causing harm to people that don't have power. So what we've been used to is not the norm. And I do pray that we don't lose our humanity in whatever we do. There are problems that need to be solved. I'm not saying immigration's not a problem.
Yeah.
We obviously need good border policy.
And it's not just Hispanics people.
No, it's anybody coming into the country. But it is unfortunate that the undertone is racism. The undertone is prejudice that's being played on to really rile up support for these ideas of mass deportations. And again, if you do something like that and you do it very rapidly, what is the chance that humanity is going to be preserved? That's my concern moving forward. Look, drug dealers, people that do bad things, get them out of here. I have no problem with that. Round them up, get them out.
Go into like a public school and just pull kids out because
that's the official policy now.
Well, I know that's what's crazy. It's like just to do that. Like, let's just go take these kids out for no reason.
I work with children. I don't care if you're an American citizen or not. A child is a child. Like a child is a very delicate thing, and no child deserves
Well, I think
to
it's just
live
crazy
in-
if you've been here for 50 years and all of a sudden they're like, well, go back.
Well,
and you're
that's
like,
the
what do you
thing
mean go
is-
back? Like, I've been here my whole life. Like, fuck you.
What do we expect of people that consider themselves American, who are essentially American, whether they have the paper or not? They only know America. They are good students. They work hard. They're doing the right thing like any other American kid. And then we're like, oh, you have to go back because your parents brought you here when you were 2.
Yeah, that's not my
And
fault.
now this person has to figure out how to survive. And the lack of empathy that we seem to have in today's world, like, we don't care at all how you would feel in the same circumstance if you got forced to go live in Germany and that's what you knew, and then you're told to go live in some country that's not as well suited for you.
Well, I think that if they're going to do that, they better just do that to not just Hispanics. They better do that to everyone.
Well, one of the comments that's been
what's
made
crazy.
is, too, they don't have to send you back to your home country. There are countries that will accept immigrants.
Yeah.
And they could just put you on a plane and send, you're from Mexico, they could send you to Honduras because Honduras will accept you. And that's the kind of crap where I'm like, okay, again, the humanity of it. Again, criminals, I don't care. I don't care if you're a drug dealer and you're killing people, then you made your choice. But for average, decent people, they're still human beings.
I don't know.
And we have to live with
What's
ourselves
the point?
when we get through this.
What is it solving?
There's a base of people in this country that really want to see immigrants gone because it's a
why,
because
though?
it's a threat to their cultural dominance is what it boils down to.
That's so
They'll
stupid.
say it's not, but it is, and it's been this way for 30 years.
That's so stupid. People are so stupid.
It's cruel, and again, I mean, just like
White people are so stupid.
Sometimes
Because it is mostly white people thinking this. Let's be honest.
Look at the Nazis, and like we ask ourselves, how did the German people let this happen? This is how it starts.
Yeah.
It starts with little ideas and little things, and it snowballs. Now we're at the point in our culture where we're accepting border policy. We're accepting some ideas that are fairly extreme, but they start this way. They start less than serious, and they become serious. And my question for everybody before this goes too far is like, look, and I'm not saying I'm against changing our system and making it work.
Well, this is fine.
But we have to maintain morality and our humanity. We have to live with ourselves after this is done. I don't want to be Nazi Germany in 1945 being forced by gunpoint by people that came in and took us over to go look at the concentration camps that we built.
Yeah.
To go look at the devastation that we caused human beings. We should be smart enough to look at it and go, okay, we're all right with this or that. We want this particular outcome, but humanity will be a part of this story. We're not just going to do anything for the sake of the image of it or being tough. Yeah. I'm that issue I'm very nervous about.
That's crazy.
I'm very nervous about it.
Dude, yeah, like you said, criminals, yeah, whatever.
You made your choice. I'm all fine with that. You're not a citizen. If you are a citizen who's selling drugs and stuff, I got a problem with you too. But I mean, I get going after real bad guys.
But like kids, people are actually trying to work.
Yeah. People that are
paying
and
taxes.
that Americans brought in.
Well, no, you
know,
and it's not like some of these people they're paying taxes.
Right.
People.
Right.
Like.
Right.
Just like you and me, they're paying taxes.
They're paying taxes.
They're helping support this economy, and you want to take that away. That's
right.
Not,
Yeah,
well,
we
that's
can't
crazy.
do just anything for the sake of doing something. Like you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be okay with what you've done. And we can't, as a society, be complacent.
And then they're going to bitch.
Happen.
Why is everything so expensive? Well, you caused this.
Right.
Why is lettuce $45 a pound? Well,
that's the
your thing.
And Trump ran on the economy, and now he said this week, I don't care about the economy. That's not my issue. He's more worried about going after political enemies than he is about the economy. Right now, he's openly saying that. I'm just like, guy,
make
you
sense.
could be a great president. You really could. If you just check your ego and look at the entirety of the country and look, people are behind you on immigration, but do it in a safe, sane, human way.
Yeah, for sure.
That's,
I
don't know. That should be a bigger issue than anything else.
I
probably,
agree.
But
Anyway.
see, I get too sucked into this. You guys aren't here
that's
to
my
hear
fault.
me
I
yell
said day
stuff.
without.
You know what I do. I'm so sorry,
That's
everybody.
my fault, people. It was just something I saw, and I was
Don't
like,
watch
that's
the
crazy.
news. No, but
Watch A Day Without Mexican if you want to find out what's really going to happen.
I have never heard of that movie.
Yeah.
When was that made?
Probably like 10 years ago, maybe longer.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So this has been on our minds for
Probably.
a minute.
It's a movie. Did Alicia watch it? Someone watched it.
Yeah.
Blanca, maybe?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's...
I don't know. I guess it's a good movie, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched it.
I remember seeing...
I can't go a day without one.
What was
Why
the
would I see her
movie-
all day?
There was a movie probably around that time where they followed, like, it showed, like, immigrants working in factories and stuff. There was a gal that worked in, like, a chicken factory processing plant or something.
Yeah.
And... like her boss was horrible to her. Like he, I think, raped her at one point.
Oh,
and
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like horrific. It was basically like these people had no power. Oh, what was the name of the movie? But I remember just feeling like sick after it. It was very sad. Very sad.
So The Day Without Mexican's a lot older than 10 years. It's 20 years old.
Okay, well there you go.
2004.
That's 20 years ago.
That's 20 years ago.
That does not feel like 20 years ago.
It was considered a
But it's
mockumentary.
21 years ago.
Didn't get great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but then again,
Rotten Tomatoes.
you know.
Suck a dick.
There was a time when Rotten Tomatoes was decent.
Yeah, I know, but I often disagree with Rotten Tomatoes.
Capital One.
I was going to say, I think a bomb's about to explode. I'm
No, it's
not
just
sure.
my watch. Capital One's calling me.
Bleep. Cut the red wire, or is it the green
No.
wire?
Shit, I'm fucked either way.
We didn't really talk about a question of the week. Do we have a question based on our discussion? What car would you buy
There
if
you go.
you won? Or
What was
would
your luxury item?
What would your luxury item be? A nice watch, an island,
Yeah.
a mega mansion,
A
yacht?
human, whatever.
Please don't say human.
I'm just
That-
kidding, people.
Yeah.
I'd buy me Mexicans. Keep them
Golly.
here.
So sad.
That's crazy.
So sad.
But anyway,
Anyway, take care.
have a good week.
Yeah.
We'll get this out when we can.
Yeah, it may not be Monday morning, but we will get it out as soon as possible. And we will look forward to your feedback.
For
and
sure.
Yeah, whatever we can do to improve the show.
Yeah, I was saying for sure.
Keep your opinion to yourself.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We will see ya next time.
Just weirdly blended out.
Bye.